Hello everybody and welcome to Georambles here in Whitby, or to give it its local pronunciation, Whitby, here in North Yorkshire. Now Whitby is a very interesting town. It's a small seaside town of only about 14,000 people at the last census, but it has an amazing history and a very interesting economy and some very interesting political things as well from a geographical point of view. It's a place that brings together all of the different scales of geography, the local, the national, the continental and the global. Now this particular town then is based at the current time on tourism, on a local mineral economy, and the points in the past, mineral exploitation up there in the Yorkshire Dales towards our west has been very important. Things like jet, for example, and the Romans in fact cultivated and worked with jet from this region. And aside from that, it also has a maritime economy, as you'd expect. It's up here on the east coast of England, above the River Humber, and the River Esk runs behind us here out into the North Sea. And in the North Sea, in times gone by, it was famous for whaling. They come down from the colder climes of the north and to this part here, and herring, and of course North Sea cod. So there's maritime, there's mineral, and of course there's tourism. Now this links to that's the local geography, but this links to the regional economy as well, because the capital of North Yorkshire is York. In fact, the capital of the whole of Yorkshire is York, the ceremonial county, and that city is a very important place in English history, where the centre of the Yorkshire versus the Lancashire Civil War, which we haven't got time to go into here, but it's the seat of power up here in the north. And as Yorkshire grew and became more prosperous, this part of the world became a very popular place for tourists, and the Victorians built, in fact, a railway from York all the way to Whitby, which will bring tourists here. And along the coast here you see lots of examples of beach huts, and just behind us, in fact, there's the Royal Crescent, which is a place for the more well-to-do who would come and spend their summers here on the coast of North Yorkshire. But interestingly, it's the global scale which is most important here in Whitby, because this is a very important part in the chapter of the exploration of the world by the British. The most famous Yorkshireman, perhaps, apart from some of the cricket players, would be Captain Cook. Captain Cook was captain of 4 voyages across the world. He was the first person to circumnavigate the Pacific and to chart the Pacific, and the first of his voyages set sail from here on the HMS Endeavour and made it to the Pacific. There were 3 further voyages, and the men and the economy of Whitby supported those voyages and built those boats. And Captain Cook went out into the world. Now, of course, we say he discovered the world. He didn't discover the world. There were people there before, but he opened it up for trade, he opened it up for diplomacy, he opened it up for interactions of a scale internationally that had never been seen before. There were other explorers in the Pacific like Tasman before him, but they never navigated it and charted it like he did, and they never set foot in the Pacific like he did. He set foot in Aotearoa, what's now called New Zealand. He set foot in Australia, he set foot in Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, various other places. In fact, he met his end in the Pacific. He met his end in the Pacific eventually, opening up those spaces. You've got to imagine, in those days, this is like Star Trek. It's like exploring and going places that have never been seen before, to frontiers that have never been experienced before. So very brave and hardy people would take part in those kind of voyages. And this all began in this small little town called Whitby on the north coast of North Yorkshire, which now is a sleepy, buzzing but sleepy, calm seaside town with those functions. So the local, the national and the global all interacting here in Whitby, North Yorkshire. Georambles, July 2024.